Alrighty, hello everyone, and welcome to Zenith Online Racing for the EU tier on this beautiful Sunday afternoon or evening or night on this very special holiday. I am All Maverick, and I'll take you through tonight's proceedings, and with me is the man on a mission in the Tier 1 for ZOR, Mr. Camden. Luca, how are you?
Doing good. How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic.
All right.
So the EU tier live at the Sochi Autodrome. A very dull track, if you ask me. But, I don't know. There's people that like it, so more power to them.
Yeah, I mean, I like this track personally, but I know there's a lot of people who don't. But it should be interesting. It's a crazy track, and we might have a lap 1 safety car, possibly.
I would love to see someone go flying through the kink of turn 1, if I'm being completely honest. But, I mean, with there only being 14 drivers, I really hope that everybody can finish this race. And it doesn't seem like no one's here, so...
Yeah, I don't remember who it was. I think a couple of seasons back it might have been JXW, but I remember in turn 1 somebody went flying in Tier 1. So hopefully that doesn't happen to anybody, but like you said, I wouldn't be surprised if that happens.
Yeah, I think the goal for everybody here is that second row on the grid. The slipstream down to turn 1 because it's such a long straight down into the first braking zone. You're going to want to have that slipstream to pull the inside and make the move into turn 2. And the Williams of Rub 1406 on a lap invalidated. I do believe Cali will be next, or Excel Cali I should say, in the Mercedes. And then right behind him should be the Racing Point of JXW on the mediums. So Cali going purple sector 2, that does not surprise me, the pace of this kid. And now through the slow and rectangular shaped third sector. Cali with a 30.9 to get us going here in qualifying. I do believe that should be the Ferrari of Harry, and did invalidate his left, so he will stay P14 on the mediums.
Yeah, that was a good lap by Cali, getting in the 130s. I think Sam got in the high 130s on Thursday, so great lap from Cali. Obviously he's quick, so that's expected, but that's the first time of the day, and there's only 14 people here, so that's definitely something to keep in mind, as Jinnit on the mediums puts up a 133.492.
Yeah, pretty good lap for Jin, especially being on the mediums. There's a lot of people on the mediums I'm seeing, so I do think that at least someone will make it into the top 10 on mediums and really have an advantage with that alternate strategy.
Yeah, and we do have confirmation from Fuzz that it will be a cloudy race, so no rain, which is good. Tier 1, I know we had to deal with rain in qualifying, but luckily for us we had no rain in the race, so these guys won't have to deal with that, but it should still be a good race. And like you said, a lot of people on the mediums already, fitting the mediums, and only 14 people here, so it should be interesting on how many people actually qualify on them.
Yeah, the alternate strat, from what I've heard, is it's pretty good around here. The tire wear is almost non-existent. I mean, you can take a pair of hards basically from lap 1 to the end, and from I mean, personal experience for me, I've done it a few times. Last season in Tier 2, getting lap 1 wing damage, either punting Scavney or hitting the back of Puff. It's pretty easy to do around some of these tracks, but Russia's just on another level.
It does look like Lando is on a lap right now. It looks like he's headed through Sector 2. Obviously, we know his pace, and he's up there in the driver's points. He's up there second in points right now with 70, so this could be a big race for him. He's down by over a race to Miami, so looks like he's looking for possibly a good qualifying run today. I don't know if he's on a hot lap. I think he's just cooling down, so I don't think this will go towards anything. But yeah, Lando looking for a big day.
He's definitely going to need it. I think it was 30 points down, so just outside that race win is Lando. But the pace of Miami early on, obviously, championship leader, 100 points. He's on provisional pole, so that's already advantage, or I should say point to Miami, really.
Absolutely. So, I think we got time, so maybe we could go over the points now, possibly. Like we said, things are close in the driver's points and the constructors, so Maverick, I don't know if you want to do that right now, but that would be a good time to do that.
Yeah, so Miami is on 100 points, as I just mentioned. Lando is in second with 70. Jinnit is on 56. Callie on 55. Dylan is on 51. Barton is on 41. That's a good number. That's my number. Megabones is on 38. JXW on 37. Harry Noir is on 32. And Toxic MML is on 20. And that is the top 10. RC is on 16. Zem on 10. And then the two Alfa Romeos of Gin and Juice and DJ Panda both have 2 points. Back Ashes, Purple Squirrel, Rocco, King Willie, and Ruben have none to their name. So that is the EU standings. And pretty close.
Yeah. Something I just noticed too, so Jinnit just put up a 1:31.563 on 3-lap-old medium, so that's a great time considering the wear of those tires and the fact that they are medium. So I would be interested to see if he puts on softs, what he could do with those, but he's within a second of Miami, and remember, Miami put that lap that he put on soft tires.
Yeah, that's a really good lap from Jin. I think JXW and Rub both just knocked them down a few positions to P5. I think that lap with Jin, if he doesn't go on the softs, that should stay in the top 10. I'm pretty confident.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. As you mentioned, JXW there putting up a good lap. Ooh, it looks like Barton goes up 1:30.7, so he's very close to Miami, but Miami's still the only one to get in the 30.6s, so Miami's showing his pace, but Barton right up there.
Yeah, that's 300ths of a second between the two. And if you like close qualifying, then you chose the right division to come and watch.
Yeah, and I am glad to be here. I've wanted to be in the booth for EU for a while now. Things just haven't worked out, so it's great to be here. And like you mentioned before, happy Easter to everybody out there. Hopefully some of you got some Easter egg hunts on. I have not done any, but yeah, who knows?
Yeah, my mom hid one egg. It was one golden egg, and she put $5 in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, that's definitely motivating.
Yep.
You know, it's not like you got like a Twix in there or something. Like, you know, $5, that's good money for an Easter egg hunt.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It does look like Callie is finishing up his lap. He's headed through turns 17 and 18 right now. Got a little sideways there in turn 17. Let's see what kind of lap he puts up. He does improve, but very slightly.
Yeah, it wasn't much there, and you got to think he lost some, if not all, of his time with that little wiggle there. He's picking up a toe from Lando, even though he's not on ERS, so
yeah.
I think this is a bit of mind games between the Excel boys here.
Yeah, it should be interesting on which Excel driver does the best. It seems like that's kind of the question every week with this EU tier, but Excel Larkin is not here. He's usually one of the Excel drivers that is here. And he's, yeah, him not being here, obviously one less Excel driver to focus on.
I think it's one less Excel driver for the other guys to deal with as well. As they're all pretty quick and they're all within the same, I'd say the same pace as at least to some people. Lando is a Division 1 driver in League of Europe. Miami is Division 3, I believe, and Cali is Division 4 with me. So really, I mean, really close with these guys, and especially the League of Europe divisions. They're all really close. I mean, any one guy can do really good in any division. It's just that good of a competition. But even here, the EU tier for ZOR is usually pretty good from what I've seen. I haven't watched too much of it, as usually I'm doing things on Sundays. But I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, me too. Usually I'm working, but since it's Easter, I was able to be here, and yeah, this will be good. I don't know how many more times we'll be able to be in here together, but obviously Packer can take over the reins once he gets back, and he can deal with the 5 safety cars every race. But it does look like Miami is, he went purple in Sector 2, and he is on provisional pole right now, so let's see what he can do. Looks like he's heading through the final few corners of the track right now. He's heading into turns 17 and 18. He's barely ahead of Barton, so he's going to need a good lap right here. Wow, that was much better. Ooh. A 1:31.58, so he's 0.5 up his previous lap.
That's a lap.
Yeah.
That is a lap. I mean, I honestly don't think I've ever seen a time that fast.
I'm sure Packer and Lando have put up something around that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's fantastic. I don't know if, I mean, there's still a lot of time left, but like you said, I mean, that's just putting a statement right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Lando, he's not set a lap time yet, and this lap has been invalidated. So he's going to pull in the pits here, throw on a fresh pair of soft tires, and then try to go out again right at the end of the session. I believe that is the AlphaTauri getting going. And Jin would be next, but he invalidated. He's going to pull in the pits. And Bag of Bones is not on the overtake button. And he'll be diving into the pits as well.
I do notice, I think JXW is on a lap right now. He is better a 10th coming out of Sector 2. He's got Ashes right in front of him. That was definitely close. That's probably going to cost him a little bit of time. Ashes probably could have done a better job of getting out of the way, and yet JXW is going to abort that lap. So, but yeah, he was up a 10th, so if he can get back in the pits, get on fresh tires, it should be interesting on what kind of a lap he can put up.
Yeah, he was purple Sector 2 on my screen, but obviously this game is it's built by Codemasters, so I don't know how true that is. And but if it was true, then that had to be a pretty good lap, and it's just a shame they got held up there from Ashes. Yeah, there's no one on track at the moment. There's 3 cars on track. But yeah, everyone's coming in, fitting on those final sets of tires to go out right at the end of the session.
Well,
yeah, great Moss here. He'll set time P8, 31.6.
And going back to your statement earlier about the medium tires, I'm looking at everybody who has fitted their tires, and they have all fitted soft tires. So I don't think anybody is going to put their final lap on the medium tire. So that should be very interesting. But yeah, you mentioned it. We have very few people on track. That's going to make a very interesting final minute, because it seems like everybody is going to go out at the last second doing one last lap. So it's kind of calm right now, but trust me, in a couple of minutes, it's going to be very exciting.
Yeah, Jin still has his best lap on the mediums. He's in P7, and I think the only people, and I'm just going based off of what I know, that can set a better lap time than that on the softs has got to be, for sure, Lando, possibly Harry, and maybe Beck. So Jin could go out on the softs and really push the first 2 sectors. And then if he sees that he can stay in the top 10 on the mediums, then he can just pull over and not improve on his time. So it's going to be very interesting to see what he does, as Moss has lost it there through the third sectors we were following along, and that should be the end of his qualifying. He's going to continue on here. Gonna lock up into the final corner, and he doesn't improve.
And he was very close to improving. He was down 5,000, so if he just made a couple of less mistakes, he would have improved. But yeah, something to note with Moss, so he actually is a full-time driver in the AlphaTauri now, so good to see a new full-time driver on the grid. But Maverick, remember what I said before about everybody going out at the last second? We currently have 9 drivers on outlaps out of 14 drivers. So yeah, everybody taking one last effort here. And like I said, Miami's lap, it's going to be hard to beat, but with 9 people on outlaps and everybody else on track besides Dylan, it should be very interesting to see if somebody can overtake him.
Yeah, this is going to be a very interesting final 40 seconds of qualifying. Barton is going to be the first one to start this final part of qualifying, and then Ashes Falker is right behind him in the McLaren. He's picking up a bit of tow here, so that definitely should help him if he can keep this lap valid. GXW in the Racing Point is next as Dylan is out, and he's retired in the pit lane, so that just gave me a bit of a spook there. I thought something had happened. But the 2 Mercedes actually really close there, coming through the final corner. And the slipstream is really going to go to Cali here. But they seem to be far enough. Oh, as Lando's gone fastest.
Wow.
With the 29.4.
Okay, so throw away my statement about nobody catching Miami, because that is an obliteration of that lap. So Miami, man, I mean, he's helping out Cali right now, but and he's crashed.
Oh,
wow.
That's a big one.
Oh, that wall at turn 5, man. I said this on Thursday. It just sticks out, and he got it. But, yeah, Cali, I mean, he got that slipstream, but he's invalidated. He was up by 0.2, so Cali done in qualifying.
Yeah, I think he invalidated just there out of turn 4. Barton, as we said, the first one. Oh, and he validates just at the end of his lap. He'll stay P3. Gin and Juice, Ashes Falker, they will finish their lap times. JXW will jump up to P3. And now the Renault of Bag of Bones will be next. He's invalidated. And then Beck, who hasn't set a lap time. It's not telling me what tires he's on. Oh, because I have it on best. He's on the softs. And back in the AlphaTauri, he'll jump up to P7. Jinnick goes up to P2.
Wow.
That, I mean, you said it. What can he do on the softs? And he absolutely just did it. So
yeah,
that is a great lap.
Yeah, and Miami down to 3rd. So he won't even be on the front row of the grid. But yeah, I said earlier, I mean, Jinnick put up a 131. I think it was a 131.3 or something on 3-lap-old mediums. And yeah, he showed what he could do on the softs there. But Lando, the only driver in the 129s, and by a big margin. So I think he's definitely the favorite just by looking at the qualifying results here, as everybody is done. So this is it. Lando will be on pole, but yeah, I think that lap is definitely much better than all the others.
Yeah, Jin just missing out on that in the 29s. And, I mean, still, it's still a really good lap from Jin. I'm still more impressed about his lap on the mediums.
Yeah. No, I agree. That was in 3-lap-old mediums, too. They weren't fresh. So, yeah, that was a very good lap.
Yeah, I think the mediums at that point probably just heated up, and they were probably at their best in terms of the grip that they can probably give out. So qualifying's over, and I actually don't even have to move the page down that much, as you get 14 anyway. But Lando is on pole position. Jinnit is in P2, so they'll start on the front row of the grid. Miami, JXW will be on the second row of the grid. They will have the best chance to get around the front two with that slipstream down into turn 2. Then Barton, Dylan, Callie, Beck, Harry, Rubb, they will start on those soft tires. That's your top 10. Then the Great Moss, Bag of Bones, Gin and Juice, and Ashes Falker will be 11, 12, 13, 14. They will have free tire choice. But with them starting close to the top 10, I really doubt that they'll go for anything different than the normal soft mediums.
Exactly. Something to keep in mind. So Dylan and Callie starting 6th and 7th. They are together in points. 4th and 5th separated by 4 points. So that could be an interesting battle. Callie and Jinnit separated by 1 point. Jinnit starting up in 2nd. So that's definitely something that we could keep an eye on. But Maverick, it is that time. And I don't know if you know what I'm referencing. Usually I have Packer in the booth with me to suffer in this moment. But it is my favorite moment of the broadcast. It's predictions time.
Oh, no.
Oh, so you don't like them either. You don't like the predictions either,
huh? I really don't.
Oh, and Rubb has started. Oh, my goodness. 10 seconds right off the bat. Well, here's the thing, all right?
Send
you got
him to
your
the racing school.
Yes, send him to the racing school. But speaking of the racing school, I was about to bring this up. You have your license, so I will forgive you for bashing the predictions time. But hey, I have mine too. That's why I'm here. You told me I have to get my license in order to be here. I got mine. I may have bribed Doth with a lot of money to do so, but you got to do what you got to do, I guess. But I haven't even made them yet. All right, let's go. You got to pick Lando P1. I mean, he was faster by 7/10 in qualifying than anybody else, so I'm going to pick him P1. I think he's a little frustrated about what happened on Monday. He had the win in the bag, and turn 2 got him, so I think he's going to win. I'm going to go with Miami in 2nd place. That first lap he did in qualifying really impressed me. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to go Callie. I'm going to think Callie gets up into 3rd and Mercedes gets a double podium.
Okay, how much did Excel bribe you to put all 3 of their guys on the podium?
A lot. And I used that money to pay Doth, so yeah, you caught me red-handed, Maverick.
Oh, man. Oh, that's great. All right.
On a roll today. I'm feeling good.
For me, I'll have to go with Lando as well. I think Jin will probably hold off the rest of the field and finish in P2. And then I'm going to say JXW for P3.
Ooh.
That's all I got.
I mean, that's a good pick, though. JXW, obviously, he's quick, and he's down in 8th in points right now. I mean, he's very quick in Tier 1, so hopefully he can get a good result and go up in the points. He's actually very close right now with both Renaults in points, so he could make up a couple spots. Something to note before we start, Bag of Bones and Gin and Juice are both on the mediums, but everybody else took the softs. Even the Great Moss and Ashes, both outside the top 10, but they still put on softs.
Yeah, honestly, I think the softs, if you're outside the top 10 when there's only 14 people, is probably your best bet, because you're going to be up with the front more than you would in the back, and I mean, maybe you can try to get some better grip, not sitting in the pit stalls, or not the pit stalls, but the grid slots as long as the front guys. And obviously, we'll have to wait and see as the cars will now shimmy into their positions and get ready to go. It's not as good as what they do in ACC. They actually jump in that game. But the 5 red lights will come on soon. And here we go. It is 5 lights. Lights out, and we're racing here in Sochi. It seems like a pretty good start from Lando Jinnit. Tucks to the inside. He's going to try to get as close as he can, but that second row doesn't seem to have the slipstream. They're probably going 3 wide there in the back. Lando still leads, and a bit of jostling around with the McLaren in the back. That should be Bag of Bones. And it seems like everybody's gotten through decently. Miami's trying to poke a nose around the outside of Jin through turn 3, around the flags. but everything seems to be running okay throughout the back of the field. That's Harry around the outside of Ashes Falker. Can he keep the position, or will Ashes try to fight back? He does try to fight back. Possibly a bit of contact, but Harry will keep the position. And now the Williams of Rub trying to go up the inside of Moss. Jin almost gets through, and he will. And yeah, I think everything now should be settling down as Baggy Bones tries to go around the outside of there of Great Moss. And they'll go side by side down the back straight. But Lando has already pulled out 0.8 of a second to Jin. So a really good lap for him to start this race.
Oh, but he's got a penalty.
Oh, right.
Lando on the first lap. Wow, so he must have really been pushing, trying to get that 1 second gap on everybody else. Crazy racing in the back, though. The Great Moss and Bagel Bones are still side by side here. Heading through Sector 3. I don't know how they're still side by side. It looks like the Great Moss probably going to get this, and he does. So great battling there. Ashes has gained 3 spots off the start, so he's made the most progress, it seems like.
A pretty good start for him. I think the timing glitch is happening again, so this is still my favorite thing in the game.
Me too.
And DRS is not enabled, even though it's set it. And it's not lap 3, it's lap 2. So what isn't wrong right now?
So we're on lap 2. It looks like the order is about to finish shuffling. Lando, Janet, Miami, all those guys are starting to get back to the front. It looks like on the grid. Just got to get the Great Moss and Bag of Bones back in their spots, and we should be good to go. And yep, looks like the order is all set.
Sadly, they didn't really change the running order that much, but Lando's already outside of DRS. So even if DRS wasn't able this lap, Jinnit would not be able to use it. But Miami is really close as Jin and Juice picks up a penalty. There's 2 Jins in this field, I just noticed. That's going to be difficult.
Yeah, they're usually here in EU. I don't know how Packard deals with, having two Jins in here. That can be confusing, but we've already seen 2 penalties in the first 2 laps, and we saw on Thursday and Monday that penalties have a big outcome in the end of this race as Jin and Juice goes very wide, loses 2 spots there.
Yeah, it's a pretty big mistake for Jin. He's now on the recovery as the Great Moss is absolutely sliding it through that corner.
Looks like
now
Lando,
DRS will be enabled.
Yeah, Lando just put up fastest lap there. And he, like you mentioned, he is outside of DRS, but here comes Miami on Jinnit.
To the inside, they're going to break at the same point, and Miami's going to force Jin wide. That definitely should be a warning given to Jinnit, whether it's, I guess, deserved or not. But now Miami will cover off and get ahead of Jinnit to win it before the braking zone of turn 5. So a really good move there from Miami to get around the McLaren as Jin picks up a penalty there.
Oh. Yeah, and them battling has allowed JXW to close right in. So like we mentioned before, JXW, he's around mid-pack in the standings, but if he gets a great result today, that could really change things up.
There's another penalty with Rub 1406 picking up a 3-second penalty. And now the Miami train has started, but what does Jin have in response? Down into the beginning of the 3rd sector, he backs off of that one as JXW really close to the back. So is Barton. And Dylan's just kind of hanging on there. But the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place battle is getting really close here. As Barton just not seeming to have the traction through the 3rd sector there, kind of falling off the back of JXW. The yellow flag sector 3, and that's Moss around.
Oof. Tough break for Moss. And see, it does not look like he has any damage though, so he probably won't have to come in the pits, but it is so close. 2nd through 10th all in DRS range, and Jin is making his move.
Yeah, he's going back down the inside, and he runs a bit wide there through the push back part of that corner that I don't think anybody enjoys. But Jinnit gets the move done again. Or he gets the position back, I should say. And JXW is still hanging on to the back of Miami. And Dylan's kind of caught up there to the back of Barton as I think Barton's kind of fallen off the back of JXW. But if they keep battling, then it wouldn't surprise me if Barton or Dylan can try to find a way around these guys.
Absolutely, an overtake is going to be huge in a situation like this. It looks like, I'm looking at the grid, a lot of people have saved up their ERS. A lot of people still have theirs. And JXW is using his, and he's making a move. And tucks back in line. That was going into turn 13. He thought better of it, and that was probably a smart decision considering it's lap 4.
Yeah, I think it's best just to kind of hang back. I mean, there's no points for finishing in these positions on lap 4. All the points will be given at the end of 27. So I think just waiting for the move. And I mean, all these guys are probably going to pit around the same strategy. If someone's around, I think that was Rub in the Williams, and he's got damage. And I do believe Ashes is around too.
Oof.
And he has damage, so both the McLaren of Ashes and the Williams of Rub have damage.
Looks like Callie has lost a spot to Beck here. So Beck trying to make his way through the grid. He started 8th, is up in 7th, but yeah, Callie right behind Beck and probably going to try and get by him here pretty soon.
He's definitely going to be looking for the position. Beck is kind of falling off the back of Dylan here. So now I would say that 2 trains are starting to form here from Jin to Dylan, and then Beck and Callie were kind of just behind as Rub picks up a time penalty. And with wing damage, it is really easy to just run wide.
Oh, looks like Miami closing up on Jinnit there. Very close, just buying his time, being patient, staying within that DRS range, and Lando has opened it up to 3 seconds, so even if Miami is able to get by Jinnit and close in, Lando's still got that 3-second gap.
Yeah, I think that's Lando's goal now, is just try to extend that gap as much as he can. He's got to know that Miami never really picks up any penalties. And it seems to be pretty clean here. Miami's got the DRS open. He's going to try to get the move done on Jin. And he is ahead into the braking zone. He cut back in front of them. Jin almost runs into the back of Miami, but Miami does get the move done. As Rub pulls into the pits to get that wing changed. Jin trying to find just any way around Miami, but can't get the move done. Miami will retake that 2nd position, but that has allowed Lando to almost extend another half a second on this train behind him.
Yeah, we saw that train being from about 2nd to 10th. I'm noticing that the trains are splitting up here. We got a train from 2nd to 6th, all within DRS range, and then you go back 7th to 9th. So 2 trains kind of separating, and I think as this race goes on, those trains will break apart.
I think this will probably be, I'm going to be honest, this is probably going to be the last overtake we're going to see for a while here, was that Miami on Jin move into turn 2. I think everybody now is just going to try to play for strategy and just get their car to that pit window, which should be around lap 10 for the soft runners.
It should be interesting on when people come in pit. I know on Thursday in Tier 2, the top 3 leaders pitted from the softs on lap 15, so we'll see how long they stretch it, but I think you're going to see some strategy games of trying to pit before somebody else.
Yeah, I'm going to guess that the undercut's probably really big around here as Jin picks up another penalty. Caught that in 4K, bud. I mean, that was front and center there.
Well, I mean, that's big. Like I said before, penalties are huge here. Both races this week have been determined on penalties, and we have a yellow in Sector 3. I don't know that. I think that's Rub. I think he went around in turn 16, and both him and Ashes are in the pits.
So Rub's in the pits again. Asher's in the pits. They have a front wing ready for the McLaren. And I don't really know when Rub is in the pits for. He just pitted onto hards. I did notice that. And it is another wing change for Rub 1406. As Callie in fact, Callie gets the position back and he's up to P7 down to the turn 13. And with that battle, the train has really separated now. He's got 3 seconds to Dylan in the Red Bull.
Absolutely. Keep an eye on Heron, too. He's right behind both Beck and Callie. He's using his overtake here. Let's see if he tries and gets something done. He's taken off the overtake, but Beck has turned it on. He's within DRS range. Does not have much overtake. I don't think he's close enough to make this move, but these two could allow Heron to close in and make something happen.
Yeah, Beck and Harry both have absolutely no ERS to play with. Callie's got just a bit more. He's got about 30%. So this definitely is an ERS management battle between those three. Lando's at 72. I figured I'd check, but
wow.
He's at 72, so he's probably not even touching that button at all.
Yeah.
He's at 24. Jin's at 33. JXW's on 16. Barton's on 27. So that front train kind of running about the same. And that's really what you should expect here when you're in this kind of DRS train.
I think that speaks volumes on Lando, though, because clearly he hasn't been giving it 100%. If he's got that much ERS compared to everybody else, I think he's definitely saving this and just waiting for a time to use it. So we have not seen 100% from Lando yet, and he's already got a 4-second gap.
Yeah, I would imagine he would probably start to use it maybe when his pit window opens so he can push a bit more. Just eke out a bit more from these tires, and possibly when he comes out of the pit lane to try and get those mediums up to speed, as I believe that is Moss and Jin and Juice off. Going into the third sector as Moss is around. Oh, that was close.
Yep. Jin and Juice having to have good reaction time right there as Jin and Juice slows down. I think something's going on between these two, Maverick. I don't know, but the way that Jin and Juice slowed down like that, maybe he was just giving the spot back, I don't know, but that looked a little weird.
Terry got around Beck. And Beck's not really close to Harry anymore, so I'm wondering if there was a mistake made. JXW did get the move done on Barton through turn 3, and now Dylan is right on the back of Barton. But even with the DRS, he's just not catching them. So I'm interested in wondering if Dylan is running with a higher downforce setup than Barton.
Yeah, that's interesting, definitely. We've noticed with this that Jinnit and Miami have really pulled ahead as Moss picks up a penalty. So really, it's a battle of second and third, and then fourth, fifth, and sixth, but not anymore as both Barton and JXW are in the pits.
Yeah, the pit window opens on lap 10. Callie's in the pits as well. Beck's in the pits as well. Or 2, I should stop saying that word. But yeah, the pit window opens, and these are some pretty early stops, but the timer's not there, as Beck has a wing change, so there definitely was some contact with the wall at some point. That's probably how Harry got through. But now it is the top 5 on softs have not come into pit yet. Bag of Bones is the highest of the starting medium runners, and he's in P6. And that's actually a really good position for him to be in. He's got about 10 seconds back to JXW. So I think Bag of Bones is in a pretty good position to pick up some points here on this alternate strategy.
Absolutely. We saw in both races, people doing the alternate strategy, but nothing really coming out of it. You know, no safety cars coming at a right time. I think with all of those guys who just pitting, we could see some guys like Miami, Zenith, Lando, who are on the soft tires, come in and pit. So Bag of Bones could stay out here, take the lead, and say a safety car comes out in the next several laps, he would be in a very good position to get a very good result.
Yeah, I think pit stops are in full swing now. Lando's in the pits. Miami's going to come into the pits. Zenith's going to stay out here.
Ooh.
So very interesting from Zenith. He might just think that he's got a bit left in those tires. Dylan stays out of well, and there's some contact at the first turn.
Oh.
That is Falker and Rubb. And Ashes will get a 5-second penalty for severe collision. I wouldn't really call it severe, he just barely tapped him. But the penalty is given. Lando comes out of the pits. Bag of Bones will overtake him. Or maybe not. And yeah, Bag of Bones will get ahead of Lando, but I can imagine Lando's just going to have the better grip through these next few corners and will get ahead of Bag of Bones here.
Let's see, does he make the move here in turn 4? Nope, he's going to wait. Probably going to get it right here. Yep. Better traction with the better tires. And, Bag of Bones still putting up a fight in turn 5, but Lando takes it.
I'll give Bag of Bones an A for effort there. That was really good to
absolutely.
try to stick it to the man, I guess. I'm actually
stick it to Lando. Those Excel drivers.
Yeah. I'm actually really surprised Harry didn't pit on that same lap. They were about 13 seconds when I checked, and they definitely could have double stacked. But I guess Harry's probably on a different strategy here, and he's looking for some fresher tires at the end of this race. So Zenith's in the pits, yeah.
Yeah, yep, he's in the pits.
Dylan's in 2, Harry will pull in, so now everybody's in the pits except for Bag of Bones and Gin and Juice. As Falker has left the session.
Yeah, I don't know if he meant to pit there. He did leave the session right before he was coming into the pit, so I don't know. But obviously, not the best race from him. A couple of collisions and then that. So Bag of Bones still out there, though, and he is in P2. So like I said, if we get a safety car right now, this would be very crucial for him. Zenith, though, here's something to look at. Zenith down 0.7 to Miami, so staying out those extra couple of laps should be interesting on what Zenith's pace is compared to other drivers.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what comes of this. There is a yellow in Sector 2, that is the Williams of Rubb, and he's around. And let's hope he gets going as he just throws it into the wall there. And let's hope that doesn't bring out a safety car as Jin picks up another 3-second time penalty.
Wow. Yeah, Zenith already at 9 seconds of penalties. So it's going to be hard for him to win this race based on those penalties. Miami still has none. So that's something to keep an eye on, but Zenith very close to Miami right now. It should be interesting how aggressive he is in trying to get by him, because Zenith, if he wants to finish ahead of Miami, he's going to have to get a gap on him.
Yeah, I think Jin knows his situation. He's definitely going to try and get past Miami as Lando sets the fastest lap at 34.0 on the mediums. So a really good lap from the man himself. The one thing I am concerned about is Ashes did leave the session, but he didn't hit retire, so his car's still out on track. It doesn't look like he's in an AI as Rubb is out at turn 2. So that could be a safety car. I mean, he's nearly in the middle of the track.
Yeah, we got Beck going by right now. I mean, oh my gosh, Beck was not careful at all. I don't know if you saw that, but that was very close there. Yeah, Looks like no safety car, but he was close to the racing line, and Rubb has left the session. So, yeah, good point about Ashes, though, being out of the session, but his car is still on track. That could definitely possibly cause an issue. I'm not too worried about it. But, yeah, when we're halfway through the race already, Maverick, I don't know about you, but this has gone by pretty quickly.
Yeah, pretty quick race. I do have to say, Russia does usually end pretty quickly. As Jinju's getting around the lapped car of Ashes. The thing is that I don't think it should be an issue for the leaders, as they're pretty far behind. But you never know. Things can happen.
Absolutely. And speaking of things happening, Barton is putting on the overtake, and he is within DRS range of GXW. He's got that DRS. He's probably going to get him right here.
That has got to be the fastest overspeed I've ever seen in anything on this game, as Barton gets around JXW, but JXW is going to try to fight back. He's going to try to get a wing in there and force himself around Barton, but he's just going to hold back for now as Barton gets the better acceleration out of that corner. And Barton will keep that P5. And Jin is still behind Miami, but they've caught up to Bag of Bones. So I really think Miami and Jin are going to be held up here by Bag of Bones, who's on way older tires than those two.
It should be very interesting on where Miami catches Bag of Bones. He's not going to get him right here. To say that Bag of Bones gets a good exit out of turn 18, it will be hard for Miami to possibly get to Bag of Bones by the end of the first straight and get around him. So this could hold him up a little bit and allow Jinnit to close back in slightly.
Yeah, the Renault teammate of Barton isn't too far behind, so this definitely could be some team orders.
Ooh.
Miami is definitely going to have the better speed. He's not on the ERS button, which is really interesting, but here comes Jin. He's going to have almost a double slipstream. He throws it up the inside of Barton, and he runs it wide just a bit. I don't think there was a warning given, but Miami and Jinnit did get through on Bag of Bones, so that is huge for them, and now they can try to catch up to Lando. Miami's got to find about 2.4 seconds if he's going to want that to work out and to get this race win here in Russia.
Yeah, so Bag of Bones' situation is pretty interesting because he's around the point now to where he could pit for the softs. But at the same time, though, if you're going with the strategy of staying out, trying to get a safety car, I don't know how much longer that's going to last as Harry picks up a penalty. But I think at this point, he probably needs to come in because he's starting to lose track position, starting to lose positions, and at this point, it's kind of pointless to stay out and try to, to get a safety car.
Yeah, I think the best chance we had for that safety car was Rubb spinning off at turn 2, but the game just, I don't know. I guess Byrne was taking a nap and he didn't want to get out of bed. That's my guess.
Well, Lando's not taking a nap. He just put up a 1:33.5, which is the fastest lap by over half a second, so he's definitely not sleeping. And he has turned it up a little bit. His overtake is significantly down from what it was, so he's definitely put the pedal to the metal. Jinnit closing back in on Miami. So that little battle there with Bag of Bones has closed things back in with these two again. And like I said, Jinnit, with those penalties, he needs to find a way around Miami if he wants to try and get at least P2.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I don't think if Jin would have the speed to pull the 9 seconds he needs, he would have gotten past Miami already. So I think now, if I was Jin, at this moment, I would just work with Miami to, one, possibly help Miami beat Lando, as that seems to be everybody's goal in this league, and to also get that 9-second gap back to it's what is going to be Barton once Vagabonds decides to come into the pits. Because right now, that 9 seconds should put him down in P8, or P7 or P8 after penalties.
Yeah, no, that's a great point, though, because if you take a look at the points, Miami and Lando are 1-2, but Miami is up by 30, so Miami would not want to see Lando win this race because that will close things back in. So, no, that's a great point, though. But great run for the Renault so far, both 4th and 5th, and they are up there in Constructors.
Yeah, Vagabond's coming in the pits now for the Renault. I think Cyril Beeple's probably had enough of Vagabond staying out here.
Yeah, but you know what? He's going to be on those soft tires. And that's why I said, like, probably 14 or 15, lap 14 or 15 probably would have been the best option to pit, because that would have given him more time to use those soft tires to go through the field. And I think by lap 14 or 15, you know, the mediums just aren't good enough to hold off everybody in case the safety car comes out.
Yeah, the thing for Vagabonds, and I think what's kind of given him some security right now and some sort of safe thoughts, is that he's in P10 and he is 35 seconds ahead of Gin and Juice, so he's definitely got some points in the bag if he can't close up to the guys ahead. But I think it's definitely not as many points as he was probably wanting today, after seeing himself up in, you know, the highest of P2 once Lando came out of the pits there.
Yeah, so something to keep in mind real quick. So the podium battle, even though Jinnit has 9 seconds of penalties, it's actually very close, because you have Barton with 3 and he's down by 4 seconds, so you're putting it at around a 7-second gap between those two. And if Jinnit gets by Miami here, that could separate things even further. And to put the icing on the cake, JXW is fighting with Barton, so I think this battle for P3 is not over yet.
This is definitely a battle that should, and I really do, I really hope it goes down to the final lap. Jin trying to peak on the inside of Miami down into turn 2, and JXW not fast enough to catch Barton down into turn 2. He's going to try to take the shortest line around turn number 3. Just can't. I mean, the dirty air is so bad in that corner. I mean, he's holding on pretty good, but it's just not. It's not enough on the super important corners to really get a run on Barton down the DRS straights, it seems like.
Absolutely, but JXW is pretty close to Barton here on the back straight. He is within DRS, so it should be interesting on if JXW is able to get there. Usually you don't want to make your move here. You usually want to wait for the front straight, but JXW very close to Barton, so remember, he has no penalties, and penalties are very crucial at Russia in making sure that you don't have any.
I think if JXW knows that he can't get past Barton, I think it's another thing, like what I was saying with Jin, just work with him to try to just close that gap down. But he's going to have the DRS open on this lap, and he's even closer. Oh, the overspeed is just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, speaking of that, Jinnit as well made the move on that straight around Miami. So Jinnit could possibly pull away here, try and, you know, protect those penalties that he has and still get a podium, but Miami's right there with him, so this could be a great battle here in the last 8 or so laps.
Yeah, this is shaping up to be a pretty exciting ending to the EU Tiers Russian Grand Prix, as Jin, he's kind of extending just a bit over Miami. But Miami is on 1 lap older tires, so that definitely could be the difference. And Miami's having some issues here.
You know, I think he's just saving. If you look at his overtake, he's got 60% compared to Jinnit's 3%. So I think he's just saving for the end, which, I mean, that's an interesting strategy. I mean, I'm not saying he's wrong, but right, you know, it's you're not going up against with Zenith, you know, up much against Zenith's 9 seconds. Excuse my broken English. I'm having a stroke right now, but yeah. No, but Miami though, he's saving his stuff and he's still pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, I think as long as he can save his ERS and still be in the DRS range, I think it's probably his goal. I mean, I'm sure if Miami wanted to get past Jin, he would probably be using some of that ERS more than he actually is.
Absolutely. Keep an eye on this JXW battle too with Barton. Even though second and third are battling, fourth and fifth are still close. And Barton, with that penalty, he would have to get a gap over JXW, and he does have more overtake than JXW to work with.
Barton's definitely on the offensive going into the final 8 laps of this race. I think Bag of Bones and Beck for P9, and Bag of Bones has caught his first victim, and I gotta say, this is probably going to be his only position he will gain after coming into the pits. Vagabones will walk away with at least 2 points. But definitely not the race he wanted with that alternate strategy. I think, as you said before, people were doing it, but nothing really came out of it. Now I think I'm starting to realize what you meant.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to get it done. He's going to make a peek here on Beck. Very close racing there. Close to contact. It looks like it was all fair and square, and he's going to get this done. But yeah, just going back to what I said before, I think if Bagel-Bones pitted a couple of laps before he did, it probably would have worked better. But yeah, unless you get a safety car late in the race here, the reverse strategy really is not that great. Monkey Mafia did good with it on Thursday, but really it was not too spectacular.
Yeah, Miami got the move done on Jin. So now they're kind of just trading positions. Jin's got basically 6.5 seconds back to JXW. So I think at best, Jin will finish P5, so that should move everybody up. Possibly P4 with Barton's penalties. So this is definitely going to be an interesting one. Barton's got 3 seconds, Lando's got 3 seconds, but that I don't think really matters as Miami is 11 seconds behind. Harry's at 3 seconds, Beck's at 3 seconds, Brent Moss is at 9 seconds, and Ginadus is at 6 seconds.
Yeah, and usually, at least what I saw on Thursday's race, is that a lot of the penalties came in the last few laps of the race. So even though only about half the grid right now has one, we probably will see more penalties come in as drivers are getting more aggressive and trying to get more spots. And we do have a couple of close battles that are happening right now, so you could see some more penalties here, as Zenith is within DRS range, but Miami got... Oh, going back to what you said about Ashes, him still being in the race, that helped Miami get some DRS.
I knew it. I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah.
So Barton got around Beck, or sorry, not Beck. Beck did pick up the time points. That's why I said Beck. But Barton got around JXW for P4, and now he'll try to put on the charge and try to make up as much time as he can, and maybe, just maybe, snag a podium out of this race if he can extend that 3 seconds. As JXW takes a penalty, so now the fight for that podium position is full on. As now I do believe that the person who finishes on track at P4 should take home the podium position of P3.
Don't look so fast yet, but Barton behind by 6 seconds right now. Zenith's got 6 seconds of penalties. Barton does have 3 seconds, so we had a finish of 9 thousandths of a second between Sam and Hayden on Thursday. Oh, Barton gets held up. Wow, yeah, you called it, Maverick. He
Oh.
really, if he's going to leave the race, he needs to make sure he retires in the pits because that just really affected the outcome of this podium.
Yeah, I'm thinking Barton thought he was gonna ghost.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
not good.
Jake. Yeah, JXW got very sideways off the final corner. He's not going to be able to get to Barton here. Oh, he's getting a huge run. Just like I said, he did not get a great exit, and that's what you need here at Russia. You need a great exit off that final corner in order to make that move on the front straight.
Yeah, Barton lost almost a second and a half there,
Oof.
getting to the back of Ashes, so it wouldn't surprise me if some license points and maybe a trip to Doth's Racing School is in order for
Yes.
Ashes Falker.
Yes, we don't want to wish that on anybody, but if it's Doth Driving School, I'm all for it.
The only school I'll ever pay for is the Doth Driving School.
Yes. You know, it should be interesting on what he teaches. Like, I know he's a lawyer, so I'm sure he's got good, leadership skills and, speaking abilities and all that, but I want to see Doth teaching a class. I think that would be very, very fascinating to watch.
He'd probably have his classroom set up like a courtroom, if you ask me.
I can see it already. You have the people who get into the school, because it's not good if you're in Doth Driving School, and you have somebody representing him, he didn't cut this corner, Your Honor. He didn't, wreck this guy, Your Honor. But then Doth's like, nope, I saw the tape, talked to the stewards, yeah, you're going back down to tier 4. Yeah, no.
Instead of sending somebody to the principal's office, they send them to the steward's office.
I love this idea. This shouldn't make as much sense as it does.
Really
the stewards, the principal's office, Doth, the courtroom, the classroom, it works too well, But I think it's 20 penalty points and you go there? So hopefully,
so.
I'm not expecting anybody to get there, but with the racing we've seen this season just in general, it could happen.
It could happen. In terms of my League of Europe license points, I'm at 18, so I'm pretty close to going there.
Oh.
If Doth was in League of Europe, but I think I should talk to the guys over there and see if we can get some Doth Racing School action over in League of Europe, because some people definitely need it over there.
Absolutely. But JXW, man, he is really fighting, trying to get around Barton. This is a head-to-head race with them both having 3 seconds, and after all that Doth talk, we're at 3 laps to go. And Zenith is within DRS of Miami. Zenith could possibly still get this podium with 9 seconds of penalties.
Yeah, he darts to the inside there on Miami, and he'll pull back onto the racing line into turn 1. So he's got to make up 5 tenths here as Lando picks up another time penalty, but what the hell does that matter?
Yeah.
So, he's just absolutely gone. He can probably cut every corner and still win this race on penalties, so...
I wouldn't. That might be Doth worthy. Or he could do what I did in Mexico qualifying too. That was not something we need to talk about, but he could do that. He's got a gap. He really could probably get away with it, but
yeah.
No, I don't recommend that though.
He could probably pit for another pair of softs and get past this lap here if he really wants to.
Though. Oh. What happened?
He'll lose the win, but fastest lap is fastest lap.
I do want to go back to Monday though. Beck getting a penalty. Packer did pit for softs when he pretty much had the race wrapped up late in the race, and it cost him. So yeah, I think Lando just needs to stay out on track. He's already got fastest lap, so I definitely. He could probably get away with it, but I would not risk it at this point. But looking like this podium could be the way that it is, but Miami and Zenith still duking it out here. Miami going to make his move again. So they're kind of leapfrogging here late in the race.
Yeah, I think Jin just got a really sideways out of the final corner. That's kind of what led Miami to really storm ahead there down the front straights. But Barton and JXW, they've kind of separated from each other. JXW is outside of DRS, and now Barton is all by himself. He won't have the help. He's out, or he's actually behind Zenith by 9.3 seconds, so Jin might just keep this podium if he can stick with Miami.
And JXW has really fallen back from Barton, so looking like Barton can get P4 right here, and that would be interesting concerning that he and JXW are separated by 4 points, so that would spread that gap even farther apart. And Renault being third in constructors, him finishing in fourth definitely will help them out, but looks like Lando about to start the final lap of this race.
I can't really remember how many times I said Lando's name this race, and it was kind of like lap 1 and he was just gone, so I think the battle for P2 and the podium is or P2 and P3 on the podium is probably way better than the race win. But I mean, when you put a guy in a car and he's really quick, especially on pad, I mean, come on, it's a controller. Can't be that quick.
Well, I use the pad as well, and it's pretty convenient. I mean, it's all reliable for me, so I think that's the way Lando feels about it as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think you necessarily need a wheel. I think if you just work on, something for a while, you can be great at it. And Lando being on the pad, he's obviously been on it for a while, and it's worked out. He's ahead by 14 seconds, so whatever he's doing, I'm not questioning it, He's been pretty fast this race, and I think my prediction of him winning will be right, so I think I'm 2 for 2 in predictions this week.
He did set purple sector 1 and 2. So, this should be the fastest lap if he can just keep it on track. Lando in the Ferrari and that stunning blue helmet. He's going to come around the final corner. He's going to win here in Russia. Excel Lando wins the Russian Grand Prix here in EU with the fastest lap of a 32.9 to end the race, and a brilliant victory for the man in Ferrari. Miami will come across the line to finish in P2. Zenith will come across the line to finish in P3. And unless Barton has some sort of rocket ship on the back of that Renault, he's going to stay in P4. JXW will finish in P5. Dylan.
Oh,
Harry's out.
What happened? Maybe we can get a view from back. He's heading into turns 12 and 13, but Harry lost it in turn 16, just 3 corners from the finish. He was going to get points, and that's all out the window. Let's see, Beck, here he comes through 15 and 16. Maybe Harry's car is still there. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he definitely just lost traction there. Oh.
That is heartbreaking.
Yeah. Oh, Lando. Oh, man, maybe he should have pit there. Beck, clutch, getting the fastest lap. Wow. And that is big, though. I know it's 1 point, but considering that Lando and Miami finishing 1-2, top 2 in the points, battle for the championship, every point matters, so Beck stealing one here on the final lap. Wow.
That was awesome to watch that at the end there.
Yeah. Bagelbone's driver of the day. Where did he end up finishing?
P7?
Okay, interesting.
I think.
Huh.
I'll go back and check. No, P8.
Huh, interesting. Okay. So, wow, he was Interesting. So we didn't have much of a change on the grid, it seems like. If driver of the day only went up 4 spots, but yeah, let's go through the results right now.
So the podium celebration and the champagne has been sprayed. It is going to be Excel Lando winning the Russian Grand Prix from Excel Miami in P2 and Zenith to win it, finishing in P3. So a very good podium. Not a very diverse podium, all members of United Kingdom. Top 4 actually from the UK, so that's pretty good for that whole side of the pond. Barton will finish in P4, JXW P5, Dylan P6, Callie, Bag of Bones, Beck, and Gin and Juice all picking up points. That's 7th to 10th respectively. The Great Moss will finish in P11. Harry so close to the end, but DNF's on third to last corner. He'll finish in P12. Ashes Falker 2 laps down. He'll finish in P13. And Rub, who retired out of turn 2, will finish in P14.
Yeah, great race. We can probably get the podium interviews in here, get those going. But yeah, I mean, that was kind of a calm race at times, no safety cars, but we had a lot of battles. I feel like throughout the entire race there was really something to watch.
Yeah, I think there was something something to do there, and always something to watch, as you mentioned. I think EU always brings that sort of special sauce, I guess you could call it, in terms of good racing.
Interesting. Yeah, we can probably get those guys in though. I don't know how many of them are in here already. Let me see. So yeah, we can probably add those guys. I don't know if any of them are in here, so let's just get them in here.
Yeah, I'll get right on it. Oh, my PS4 is taking so long. Oh my god.
Now, Janet said that he's got to go shop, so he will not be here. But yeah, we can start right now. Maverick, you can start.
Alrighty, so Lando finally won this week, and it was a pretty easy race. Kind of just went A from B, pole position to win. Are you happy with the performance today?
Yeah, it was a good race. I mean, it was a bit like just kind of have a Sunday drive by yourself, but yeah, it was an okay drive. I think I could have picked up the pace a little bit, but I was just trying to actually finish a race in ZOR, because, yeah, let's not talk about Tier 1, but yeah, happy with how it went.
Yeah, absolutely, Lando. Congrats. I'm sure after the way that Monday's race finished, it feels good for you to get a win at Russia this week. What was your reaction at the finish? I know you were going to get maximum points. What was your reaction when Beck stole that fastest lap?
Oh, I mean, Miami will be able to tell you as well, but yeah, let's just say it's a little dense that made a big impact, but yeah,
Yeah,
nice. I think like obviously like there's like some very decent drivers, and obviously with like fresh softs, I don't know when he actually pit, but I'm guessing it was like really near the end, and obviously with a full overtake deployment and obviously the fresh softs, yeah, I think he was always going to beat it, but yeah, I mean, it was just nice to get in the 32s on the mediums, because yeah, but nah, it's fine.
Yeah, things you can't repeat on TV, probably, I'm assuming. All right.
Yeah, so we'll move on to the second place finisher, Excel Miami. It was a pretty good race from you. Obviously, you didn't really have as much pace as Lando. You finished, I think, about 14 seconds behind him. I think 8 seconds after the penalties were applied. You were in that race-long battle with Jin. Was there any point in the race when you were battling with Jin that you wanted to get past him and you wanted to stay ahead of him, or were you kind of just working with Jin to maybe see if you can catch Lando?
Congrats to Lando, to be fair. I don't think he deserved it, but, you know, I see it is. Nah, GG's. Yeah, I mean, definitely didn't have the same pace as Lando, but when I was battling with Jinnit, I knew early on that he didn't really have the pace to overtake me without being in the DRS, so I was happy for him to just sit behind me. And I knew he had penalties, so there's no point in me fighting him. So I was happy for him just to sit behind me and drag him along. Switch positions a few times, and then I was looking at the gaps, and he had 9 seconds, and I think the guys behind him had some pens as well, so I was just working it out to get him ahead, to get him that third, and then I thought I've done enough for him, so I thought I'd drop him on the last lap by like 2 seconds or something. but it was a good battle. If we were actually battling properly, then it was still good. It was still a good battle, but I think it was more the fact that we were helping each other, or I was helping him.
Yeah, Miami, great job, man. I did notice that you got no penalties there throughout the whole race, and I did notice at times your ERS was higher than most other drivers. So do you think you were taking it a little more conservative this race, or were you still going 100%?
To be honest, I was taking it really easy, to be honest. I just wanted to save up my ERS in case anything did happen. I could just absolutely destroy the ERS for a lap and gain a bit back, or whatever I had to do. But I was definitely just happy sitting in front of Jinnit and letting him follow me around. And then I thought I'd just have fun on the last lap and go for it and probably drain my ERS. But I mean, yeah, it was a good race. I don't know what happened behind me, but yeah, it was definitely more of a bring it home in P2 kind of race, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. So tomorrow we got Tier 1, starting off the new week, Bahrain. So that should be interesting. Thursday, Tier 2, Bahrain. Then next Sunday, EU at Bahrain. Maverick, how are you feeling about Bahrain?
I think it's a good track. It's really fun, but I think it's just going to be another DRS train event, and I think it's going to be one of those tracks where I'll probably think I'll have decent pace, but then I'll probably end up in probably 9th place in qualifying, and then find myself retiring in the pits again. But I think the headlines going into tomorrow's race should be: will Lando win? Can Camden mount this comeback? And will Alt Maverick ever finish a Tier 1 race? I think that needs to be the headlines.
Yeah, I mean, you were quick last week. Just things didn't work out, obviously, but Yeah, I think Maverick, I mean, you're Tier 2 champion, man. I think you're going to, you're definitely going to be up there. You're going to become the new driver 1 at Williams. I see there's no reaction from Lando there,
No.
so...
he's not worried.
But, yeah, I don't know if anyone else has anything to say, but I think we could probably wrap this up if nobody else does.
Nah.
Yeah, nothing from me.
Alright, so as Camden said, Tier 1 tomorrow on the 5th of April. And then Friday's Tier 2, then we'll be back here on Sunday for EU. Hopefully Packer will be back for this one. If not, I'll probably be here with Camden Luca. I hope you guys enjoyed today's race here in Russia for Zenith Online Racing. And have a great week, everyone. Take care and be safe.